have a questioner here with you.
My name is Danny Sherman. I want to thank everyone for coming, especially Chris Broadwater. He took many of my text messages and replied to every one of them. My question for Mr. Ayers and others is related to the Recovery School District. Now, the Recovery School District, this is a fact, is the second worst district in Louisiana. It is one of the worst districts in the developed world. That's a fact. That's not my opinion. This is Louisiana Department of Education data. Most of those, they're not all in New Orleans. I know you're in New Orleans, but some of the worst schools in the world are part of your recovery district, which you're a part of. John White, the state superintendent, ran the recovery district. I don't get that. So we take somebody from the second worst district of Louisiana, we make him the superintendent after several months of hanging out down there. And make no mistake, the Recovery School District is the model for Louisiana education. That is a model of failure. Now, I will mention there are some of the best schools in Louisiana are charter schools. I will admit to that, and that's great. We also have some of the worst. Now, my question is, how do we change this model, which is a failed model? At one point, once you're in the Recovery School District, it's like a Roach Motel. You cannot leave. So, to correct your point, New Orleans Public Schools is one of the best districts in Louisiana. They cannot get your schools because the state, under John White and Bobby Jindal, will not allow it to be. So I would like not just Mr. Ayers to comment, but any other comments are relevant to my question.
I'd be glad to comment on that, and I'd love to have others comment as well. I think the gentleman misunderstands the purpose of the Recovery School District. The Recovery School District did a very aggressive and I think pretty courageous thing at the end of 2005, where it took over about 100 schools. These were failing schools. These were schools that were known to be doing poorly and were recognized both by the Orleans Parish community and by the state as problem schools. It was a very aggressive move, I will agree with you there. But the idea that it's the worst school district in the nation is absurd because the gentleman doesn't understand that the purpose was to take over very low-performing schools. Now, have we gotten to Nirvana using this tool in Orleans Parish? No, we have not. We have a long way to go. But let me just point out, although I know the scales have changed and this is complicated, but in 2011-12, we had 32% of the students enrolled in failing schools in Orleans Parish. And in 2004-05, we had 64% of the kids in failing schools. So we've cut that in half. So how you could say that the RSD is a failed system when it has that record? Let me also tell you that 66% of parents in a survey that we did felt the schools are better after Katrina, compared to 31% in 2009. So from 2009 to 2011, sea change. This community is recognizing that it has better schools and better opportunities for kids. Last point, 90% of parents surveyed in that same year said that it is important to be able to choose their own schools. This was up from about 78 in 2009. Okay, so New Orleans is getting more comfortable and proud that it is doing something different. There is a long-term governance strategy that does need to get figured out, and I hope I can be a small part of in support of trying to get something sensible in place. And I do think that's something that remains on the agenda. But to suggest that the RSD is a failed system is incorrect.
I'd like to say I attended a recovery school district community meeting as a whole, and students were there. They appealed to those BSE members present, indicating the fact that they didn't have certified teachers, and I know by virtue of legislation, they're not required to have certified teachers in place. Textbooks were lacking, in fact, so much so that DVD was published, printed, and I received a copy as well as several other members. And the recovery school district superintendent Patrick Billboard, when parents challenged him over the fact that the teachers there in those schools, many of the schools, they lacked the qualifications or the certification that parents expected. Mr. Billboard's comment or response was, qualifications don't matter. And so this is what is being said to students, and in fact our goal as educators is to provide quality education experiences, and many of those students are trapped in the RSD, and that's a travesty. So I think, and certainly I'm a member of the state board, and I should certainly have a voice, but it's evident that we have a rubber stamp DESE, and they are about promoting the charter experience. And also another concern is that Cohen High School, it's my understanding that there were two charter operators. One side was a Utopia, the Cohen High School was not, and then when I read the news report, they said that those students enrolled at Cohen would not be considered for the other charters. Then there are parents who are saying that while their students are enrolled in a failing school and they're about to have those schools closed, then they're being recycled to another failing school. So what choice is this? And that's my concern.